Hello, everybody, and welcome to IT Chronicles 10 in Tech. My name is Kathleen Wilson, and I'm here with Carlos Casanova and Shane Carlson, who are esteemed co-hosts. And then today we have John Clark. He's an architect from Microsoft based in the US, and he focuses on ITSM, or better still, modern service management. And he came today to talk to us a little bit more about modern service management. Welcome, John.
Hi guys. Hi Kathleen. How you doing? Thanks for
I'm
having
fine.
me.
No problem.
Welcome, John.
Hey, John, how you doing?
So, John, Microsoft started, and again, I'm a little personally involved with it, with this modern service management movement. And could you just give us a little bit of the backstory of why Microsoft pushes modern service management instead of IT service management?
So, modern service management really was an internal thing. It didn't start to really surface because it was a change we had to make internally. We had an ITSM organization here in the U.S. We had ITSM organization in several of our large European countries. They were across both Premier and MCS, which are two parts of our services organization. And it was oftentimes a very theoretical, very based on traditional ITSM measures. We had to change simply because we had different schools of thought. There was a lot of people who didn't know Microsoft technology. They were pure theorists. And we needed to change because we needed to remain relevant with our strategy, with our corporate strategy. It started, again, I think, with our CEO, Satya Nadella, who changed our focus from being a Windows software company to being a software company. And focusing on the cloud, and now it's what's called intelligent cloud and intelligent edge. What comes with that is, of course, support for things like digital transformation. It required a change in how do you support and deploy technology. We were becoming irrelevant with our own product teams. They were looking to just bypass IT. A lot of times digital transformation, or I'd say most of the time, it's a business thing. It's not an IT thing. And quite often, we're doing it alone without IT involvement. And it's unfortunate because IT could be the broker of that. They could be the deliverer of that digital transformation. But quite often, they're not. So our charter went to becoming, how do we help IT organizations move into this new world of cloud, of digital transformation, of agile, DevOps, and namely Microsoft's DevOps, which comes from our learning. It's not it's not to say that DevOps is, there's really not a standard for it. But we have this what called 7 Habits, which really defines what we learned building cloud scale services and delivering, and that's really where this comes from. So modern service management was really an internal thing. We're starting to make it more public and share it openly because we're having to do that with our customers anyway, and that's where it really started.
Hey, John, so let me ask something, because I mean, obviously, like you said, Microsoft's been around for years and years, and always had a strong base. But there was also that thing called Moth that was out there a while back. Was this a progression, or was it a whole new idea? And because Moth, I mean, most of us know it as something you download, but it wasn't really, in my opinion, used extensively. So, is there any relation there, or not really at all?
So Moth was almost if you look at the ITIL V3 model, the circle, Moth was considered that complementary ring around the outside, which was attempted to be improvement or evolution. Focused a lot more on build, so Microsoft Solution Framework was added, where ITIL didn't really cover development, application development, and those types of things, or project management. And Moth got into that because it incorporated Microsoft Solution Framework. Move some things around, but again, it was our only measurement of its success was the millions and millions of downloads. But it because it couldn't be connected to providing sales, it was really not. It wasn't frowned upon. It was just kind of ignored. We needed something that ties service management to our products, to our strategy, and most importantly, to our customers' outcomes. And you couldn't really do that with Moth. It was something that, again, we were giving away for free. So how do you associate the value of that, and how much does it drive your business? Now we're in a different mode where our key charter is to help customers evolve their thinking in managing cloud-borne services, agile-based release patterns, those types of things that we're introducing in our products like Windows, Office 365, and Azure.
So you mentioned the business outcomes being kind of a big driving force. Market conditions changing, technology changing. What would you say is kind of the most compelling event that drove you guys to come up with the concept of modern service management when there's already a lot of the traditional legacy frameworks out there that may or may not be able to adequately address the changing needs that have happened since they were introduced in the late 90s, early 2000s? What was the one thing that drove you guys to say we need to do something?
Well, first and foremost, we said this is not going to be another framework. It's not going to be another set of books. It's not going to be IP. Quite simply, and this was a crowdsourced statement that we had a lot of people involved with coming up with. It was simply a lens intended to focus ITSM professionals on outcomes that involve our customers from legacy, traditional IT models toward easier, more efficient, cost-effective, and agile service structures. Okay, so what that means is we can now say we're going to put our lens on what works and what doesn't. So do we still incorporate ITIL terminology? Absolutely. That's one of the things that I'd say is the most successful thing to come out of ITIL was the words. We have a common vernacular that we use. But when it gets to prescriptive patterns and practices, that's where we deviate. That's where you look at things like continuous release, continuous integration, continuous testing, automated testing, those different patterns that if those things are all done manually, you don't have the agility, you don't have the business outcomes that our customers are looking for. In fact, I see this trend of investment in technology going way up, but investment in IT going way down. Well, who's buying? It's the business. It's the application teams that are now part of, biz DevOps teams within an application, within a business unit versus part of IT. I think the whole nature of IT is changing, and I'm seeing it unravel right before our eyes. So we had to change both our internal perspective on, okay, we're not teaching incident problem change and configuration management. We need to go the step beyond that because some of it is very automated. Some of it you don't need to do as much. Some of it you need to change. And so we just needed that lens. That's all modern service management is. It's not a new framework. I know there's a number of initiatives out there where vendors or consulting groups are what I call rolling their own. We're not really taking that approach. We just have a number of patterns and practices, and that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, and I think that's, you mentioned DevOps earlier, and, they talk about that being far more movement than method, and I think that's very appropriate, kind of where we are as an industry today. So, excellent.
Yeah, so John, sorry.
Your question about, Moth was a free download. If you go look at Microsoft DevOps 7 Habits, it's all free. It's all available. There's not a price tag. And it's just basically, we took our learnings from building our cloud services from Hotmail all the way to Azure, Office 365, and Dynamics, and what was involved in building those. And that's where those 7 habits come from, was to get to more specific practices and methods when speaking about DevOps. And that's really, I would say, kind of core to what modern service management is about, is those 7 habits.
Excellent.
Well, thank you, John. I want to wrap up because you can do a free little commercial plug here. So where can people go get more information on modern service management, the white paper, the video, the discussion? Can you share with us?
So we have set up a LinkedIn group, a Modern Service Management LinkedIn group. There's a Facebook group, but I'm not sure if we're spending a lot of time there. I know there's been some discussions which have been awesome in the LinkedIn group with operations directors from Amazon. And I know that their challenges with customers are exact same as ours and exact same with Google, of getting organizations to change how IT operates. We have now a Twitter handle, Microsoft MSM. It coincides with Microsoft ITSM. And I think that's it. I'm not sure of any of the other the venues we have. We started the LinkedIn group to start having these conversations. There's about 400 members. I think that's the last count, and we're trying to take more of this message outside because I don't see us monetizing this. I think it's something that we have to do with all of our customers anyway, whether they're using our technology or whether they're using somebody else's technology. So it's becoming. We're just putting, I think, a little bit more clarification on it, and I get, quite often there's times when, our customers will go, "Can you send me that deck, or can you send me that information?" And I can. It's not a IP locked away. I can't share this with you type of thing.
Well, that's
Excellent.
great. So thanks again, John. Go to the Twitter group at MSMSM. I know you have a pinned tweet for where they can download the white paper and the video, and you can also find that in the LinkedIn group. It was great interviewing one of my smart buddies today, so thank you very much, and we hope to have you on again soon. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks again,
Thank
John.
you very much.
Thank you, John.